And
welcome to Slave Nation on the Beaten Path. Today is May 31st, 2017. And I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Vanilla Swirls.
Hello, hello.
And today we're going to be talking about the history of corsets and fireplay. And they both go together because you can burn those corsets when they start to hurt you. Actually, don't burn them. They're very expensive. Just resell them. And?
Oh, would you like me to go through the spiel?
Yes!
Alright, this is our spiel. Excuse me. Please remember to go to our FET page. Follow us on all of our social media. There's Tumblr, YouTube, Reddit, you name it, we're on it. Take our survey on SurveyMonkey. Let us know what you like and don't like about the shows. Let us know what you'd like to hear.
Okay, I want to stop right there. If they don't like the show, they should be eating bananas.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. That makes absolutely no sense. But, continuing on. Don't forget to tune into the Harry Trev Rock Show on Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's a great way to get your blood pumping, getting ready to party, party, party. Woo, woo. And ladies, this is your month. The Mother's Day giveaway of a $20 fabulous Starbucks gift card is up for grabs today.
Yes, you don't have to have any rotten kids to
Yes, you don't have to have any children to enter. You just have to, be a lady. And so far we have zero.
Oh, okay, and we should state you must be a lady with lady parts.
Okay, to be a lady with lady parts.
Okay, well, in this day and age, it has to be said. I told you, I went to the doctor, and they asked me if I was male or female, and then on the form it says, were you born male or female?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why it's so important.
Okay, well, so far, we have no entries into our Mother's Day $20 Starbucks giveaway. So if nobody enters...
More butt coffee.
Yeah, the fabulous Deb over here is going to use it to buy coffee for her butt. And yesterday she made me mad, and I told her I was going to switch her butt coffee for mouth coffee.
Okay, well, you've been making me mad too, because I don't like the britches you've been wearing.
My God.
Okay. Okay, we've been having a little argument, and she's been banning some of my wardrobe, and I've been banning some of hers.
Yes, this is true. She took away my favorite pair of jeans just because they got a hole in the pocket. Okay, it's a really huge hole.
And they don't fit you properly.
I'm hard to size.
That makes no sense.
Yes, it is, because, most fat people are really short. I happen to be tall and fat.
Shut up. Oh my God, she's lovely. She's quite lovely.
Okay. And I am also in between pant sizes right now. So it's like too big for one, not quite small, I'm in between. Too big for one size, too small for the other.
Okay, well, you said that those other pants fit you, and you said they were a little short, but I told her that the cuff is very, very in right now, so she could cuff it a little and get away with it, and even if it was just okay, but the cuff is not really supposed to go to your knee. It's just a few inches above your ankle, inch or two.
Your cuff, my cuff, it's all different. I was warm. I had to roll them up farther.
Okay, well, she banned my little purple earrings, little flower purple earrings.
Yeah, because she okay. The first Thursday of every month we go to trivia. Yeah. Not that this pertains to anything we're talking about tonight, but this is how the whole wardrobe debate came. And I told her that I was going to wear my jeans with the hole in the pocket to trivia. And I was going to wear blue eyeshadow with blue eyeliner. Buy me some blue mascara and whore it up. And then she said I couldn't, and I said, well, then you can't wear your favorite earrings, and you can't wear an undershirt.
Oh, gosh. I don't know why you hate the undershirt. It keeps me warm.
I don't hate it. You just hate everything I wear, so I have to hate
don't
on
hate
something
everything.
you wear.
I hate that you wear plain t-shirts.
I am a plain kind of gal.
Okay, but that's not a plain t-shirt. That has a little, okay, right now she's wearing a very cute rose color t-shirt, but it has a scoop neck and some flaps. And it has some style to it. It's longer and flowy and super cute. Usually she just wears a colored Hanes t-shirt.
Yeah, so I like my white Hanes t-shirts too. And my jeans. And you like dresses.
I do like
So
dresses.
we're compromising. I'm updating my wardrobe. We're both coming outside of our box a bit and updating our stylish wardrobes. And that's where the great she hates my jeans debate began.
I bought pants.
She did buy pants.
Yeah,
That's good.
I even wore them.
And she looks quite lovely.
Well, thank you. I gotta duck before your nose pokes my eye out.
Oh, shh. You hush.
But the nice thing about my breeches is they go with all my work clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got like this paint splatter stuff on them. So.
Maybe we'll make a deal.
What?
You wear your breeches to trivia, and maybe I'll find a dress to wear. Oh,
that's crazy talk. How about a corset to wear with it?
Yeah, because I got one that's hanging in the closet.
Okay. Well, we should also state we're in the process of picking out a corset.
Yes.
But there's so many colors and so many cute designs and everything, we can't figure out a starter.
Yeah, we can't choose.
Yeah, so that's our dilemma.
Which also put us on the topic of the history of the corset, which is, in my opinion, a semi-torture device.
It can be. But okay, here's the thing. It can be for, I don't know if you know Player of Oz.
No.
Oh, well, he was always sending me these political videos, and I used to be quite into politics, remember?
Mm-hmm.
But I stopped because all it did was upset me, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it just aggravates me, and it's depressing, and all that good stuff. So I would send them all this stuff on Victorian era things. I got a really good video for you. And I did send them a couple on the corset and getting dressed in Victorian times and stuff because, I'm not sure if you read up on this. I'm just going to throw this out here on when you were studying your corset things, but you also had to have t-shirts layered and stuff because the whaleboning and when they got to the different, anyway, sometimes they would poke out of the corset and they would ruin the fabric of the dresses, and the dresses were extremely expensive to make.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
I did not. So there's a nice tasty tidbit to get us started.
Yeah. So these dresses were really expensive. So that's why you see them, they do the corsets and, well, you can see it in Gone with the Wind. She has like a little t-shirty thing over her corset, and that is to protect her dress from the boning coming out.
Mm.
And so we don't want to give you too much. We're going to go to a few songs, and some of you may have been tuned in already, and we've been playing Gary Newman all day.
Yeah, like all day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a Gary Newman-thon.
Fear not! We're going to go to some different... I didn't load up any music, but I have so many different, the music from all the... about 10 different shows and everything, and the top 500 rock songs, and then I have, this 40 CD thing from the 30s, 40s, 50s and on, or 50s and on, and all this music. So we're just going to hop around today.
Oh, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, but remember I put all this country music on for you?
Mm-hmm.
And I worked really hard at finding it.
Yes, and you did such a good job.
Well, because I know nothing about country music. I just thought, well, if you can dance to it or sounds, except for that one song, the Mud song.
Mud.
Yeah, that's in our car. So, let's start off with some country tunes. and we'll take a little break, and we'll be right back, and then you'll get to learn everything there is to know about corsets. And, men, you should get your slaves a corset. They look very pretty.
Yes, they do.
And women, you should get a corset because they're very pretty. And they make your waist very small.
And they help with your posture.
Yes, they do.
They help you eat less.
Yes, they do.
So.
Oh, yeah. You know what else helps you eat less? The throw-up medicine.
The syrup of Ipecac?
Yes.
I think that just doesn't make you eat less. That just makes you yak up what you already ate.
Okay, but do you want to eat when you know you're going to be yakking it up?
No.
Okay, there we go. You get the best diet tips from Slave Nation.
Not endorsed by any medical professionals, just us.
You know what? I used to live in LA. I know how to diet.
Okay.
Maybe not the healthiest diets, but they work. They are proven to work. And we'll be back. Welcome back to Slave Nation on the Beaten Path. It is lawn mowing season.
Yes, it is. Hopefully y'all can't hear that, but if you want to, we'll open the window, then you can hear them mowing up a storm.
The sound of lawnmower just drives me over the edge.
Really? I love it.
You're kidding.
No, because once I hear the lawnmower, then I know I'm going to get that smell of the fresh cut grass. That's one of my favorite smells.
Or you could go grab a handful of grass and chop it up with scissors.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But you have time to mow a lawn.
Actually, my husband mows the lawn because he just bought a $400 lawnmower because, yeah, we need one that costs $400. But hey, he's the boss, so he can do what he wants. But I'm not allowed to touch it.
Who wants to touch it anyway?
Me.
Oh,
I like yard work. Therapeutic and relaxing.
I have raked leaves.
I know. You've dug a grave. I saw you do it.
I helped dug a grave. And I also helped mow the cemetery.
Yep.
That was very exciting.
See? It's all about where you're doing it at.
Well, I wouldn't want to do it again. It's like a one-time deal. But I would rake leaves again. That was lots of fun. Oh my God. No one ever told me how much fun raking leaves is.
Really?
Yes.
It's a good time.
It is a good time. Why? I don't know. It's like a big secret. Leaf secret.
Not anymore. You just told everybody.
Never get to break a leaf now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome back to Slave Nation, where we're going to talk about corsets now.
Yeah, we're going to get on topic.
So yeah, we're going to start off in the 15th century.
We should make it clear we've been left unattended. So that's why we've been more off topic lately.
Yeah. We're trying to get it together, though. We're working on it.
There's not enough drugs for us to get it together.
Hey.
Better living through chemistry, the doctors prescribe.
That's right.
Keep us on track. Okay, the 15th century, early 1400s, there are a bunch of tarts walking around.
Oh, heck yeah.
You men are going to be so mad you missed this century.
Let's see.
So mad.
In the 15th century, I know I'm going to butcher this word. The cotte?
Cot?
Cot? C-O-T-T-E.
Yeah.
A tight-fitting garment whose name meant on the rib was first worn in France during the 15th century. During this time, the wealthy French women were known to desire a thinner waistline, using stiffened linen undergarments tightened by front or back laces, known as stays or bodies, to achieve the look. In the 14th century, Agnes Sorel, mistress of Charles VII of France, started a trend when she wore a gown in the French court which fully exposed her breastises.
Yes.
After this appearance, many French women opened their bodice to reveal their breasts, also cutting their gown to show their lower back. Tarts. Very scandalous.
Well, I don't think it was scandalous at that time. I really don't.
Well, I don't know. If you're looking at the pictures.
Well, it goes back and forth. I mean, if you look, if you look at pre-code Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which was before, I'm not sure the exact date, I used to actually know this, but it was before the 30s. They actually had nudity in their films.
Ooh.
They showed their belly buttons. Ooh.
I'm telling Jeannie.
I know. And there was all different kinds of things that were going on, and that's where the Decency League came in, and they had put in the codes.
Yeah.
So, and so it goes back and forth, and like, okay, so it was getting, before Victorian times, a little wild, and then that came in and things were real tight and reformed, and then the 20s, you have the...
So it's back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth.
Mm-hmm. So. Good time. Okay, so they were showing it all, and you guys missed it. So, in the 16th century, during the 1500s, French aristocrat Catherine de Medici made an influential mark in fashion by banning thick waist at court.
I'm out. I can't go to court.
They would just chop your head off, and that would be another diet.
Yeah, okay.
Solve the problem. This promoted the wearing of corsets by wealthy women in public view. Instead of shaping clothes to the body, as had been done throughout the Middle Ages, the body began to conform to the fashionable shape of the clothing worn. Bodices became separate articles of underclothing, laced together at the front or back. For corsets that were tied up at the front, and decorated fabric panel called the stomacher was attached to conceal the laces. In Spain, corsets were supported in the front by a vertically placed wooden or bone rod known as a busk, which produced a flat shape and was reinforced elsewhere with whalebone stays. The busk was often used for special occasions or events, and was sometimes presented to a suitor as a prize when he was interested in a female.
Ooh.
Isn't that nice? Even men sported polished and decorated breastplates to show their wealth. Many other countries developed their corsets off the Spanish style. In England, the Tudor corset utilized iron corset covers for both men and women, while France, Germany, and Italy preferred a less stiff style to eventuate a wider hip. Queen Elizabeth I created the Elizabethan corset. I love that one. That's very elongated. Inspired by the Tudor, but was less rigid, using whalebone, and emphasized waist corsets were often worn with a farthingale that held outskirts in a stiff shape, turning the upper torso into an inverted cone shape. Some corsets had shoulder straps that ended in flaps at the waist, flattened the waist, and in doing so pushed the breast upwards. This created a look that emphasized the flatness of the front bodice and the curving tops of the breast that peeked over the top of the corset.
Ooh.
Yes. And let me throw this in where we're talking so they can see what we're talking about and the styles of corsets. Really stunning.
Shall I go on?
Sure.
Okay. Corsets in the 17th century were mostly made from linen and bones, with reeds, fenced, or whalebones. The neckline of the corsets ranged from a high neck to very low. At a time where a prominent bust was desired, corsets helped to accentuate the bust and put more emphasis on the décolletage. Yeah, I said that right.
I'm quite sure you did.
Important people of the era, such as Queen Mary II, Henrietta Maria, and the wife of Charles I of England, are depicted in many paintings with fully bare breasts. Exposing the breast was regarded amongst the aristocrats and upper classes as a status symbol and a sign of beauty. Corsets sometimes came with attached sleeves, and lacings became a very decorative feature of the corset. Some women adding ribbons for extra accents. During this time, the corset was transformed into a fabric bodice that was mounted on a heavily boned lining. The front of the corset contained a long-pointed busk. The lower edge would have been tabbed. It would have laced in the back. On records, there are mentions of health concerns for girls that began to tight lace to follow fashion. Later in the period, the dresses themselves were boned, and it's doubtful that women wore corsets and a bone dress together. Oh, that would be so uncomfortable, wear a bone dress and a corset.
Well, I don't think they would do both.
I know, and that's why I'm saying that would be so uncomfortable.
How would it be? I mean, it'd be no more uncomfortable because it would just be tightened over it. It'd just be equally uncomfortable. Okay, now in the 80s, did you wear corsets to go? No?
No. My town that I grew up in was very small.
Okay.
If you wore a corset, I did not see anybody wear a corset.
Really?
Really? Not even, no. I didn't grow up in that kind of bird.
Well, I remember I had the cutest one. It zipped in front and was like probably from the 50s or something. And I had the cute little bubble skirt that went with it and the bolero jacket that went over it. Super cute.
See, you're a corseter from way back. I've never worn a corset.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite outfits. And then of course I had the spiked heels, but that was when they were enclosed and they would smush your toes. But I loved when the heels went to open toes. Yeah, because your toes can breathe, and then they can see your pedicure.
Spend all that money for it. You want people to see it.
Oh yes. And then I had my toenail pierced, my big toenail. They put these little rings in it. It was super cute. I had a lot of time on my hands.
Okay. It's very fashion forward.
I suppose. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Please you're fine. It's your turn.
Oh, is it? Well, why don't we take a little break and go back? Wandering Bikers enjoying the music and letting us know if it's country or grass.
Hey, well, Wandering Biker would know. Well, he's a very knowledgeable man.
I know. He gives me so much information. Between him and Austin 7, we get a lot of information. And then Quiet Lion gives me some of the information too, but more on the political end and the legal end that we need to know. These three guys could have their own show.
Yeah.
Shh. They'll put us out of business. So we're gonna go and we're gonna play. Do you want to stick with some of this bluegrass country? Okay.
You're running the controls. We'll play what you want to play.
Oh, nice.
I'm just drinking my coffee. Coffee.
Through her mouth.
Yes, mouth coffee. I only drink mouth coffee.
Welcome back to Slave Nation on the Beaten Path, where we don't care what century our clothes come from.
That's right. As long as they're stylish.
That's true. And they hold in our waist. We don't care what happens to our organs.
That's right.
Okay. Continue, please.
Okay, 18th century. The 1700s brought on an even more constricting shape. During this time, the corset was made from stiff material in which rows were closely stitched, encasing whalebone, cane, or hemp-like materials. The designs themselves were long-waisted and cut with a narrow back, wide front, and shoulder straps. The most fashionable stays pulled the shoulders back until the shoulder blades almost touched. The resulting silhouette, with shoulders thrown back, very erect posture, and a high full bosom, is a characteristic of this period. The corsets often included tabs, formed by making cuts from the lower edge of the waistband that spread when on the body, giving the hips more room and comfort. The corsets were often highly decorated with finely stitched tunnels for boning and precious silk brocade. Is that how you say that? Brocade and gold trims. It might be surprising to those in the 21st century that busters were around for many years before coming into fashion in modern times. dating back to the late 18th century, to where corsets grew shorter and shorter and dress waistlines rose higher and higher.
Okay, you know what I love about the dresses in this area too? Okay, so you have your corset, which makes your waist all tiny, but then your dress poofed out. No one knew what was under there.
That's true.
Can you imagine how many men were surprised that there was a lot of blubber?
Yeah. Get all sucked in, and then on that wedding night,
I wish I could see their faces. It'd be hysterical. And they couldn't return her because they probably paid a high price for her to begin with. Or no, it was the women that had to have the dowry, isn't it?
No, I don't know much about dowries. However, I do think the men had to pay the dowry to get the woman.
I'm not sure.
Don't know?
I don't know. I think the women had to pay the dowry. I think it depends on what country you came from.
True.
Okay, so, but you know, Obama was after like 42 goats for his daughter.
Really?
Yeah, I think he should have took the offer. Who knows who will want to marry that beast again?
And on that note, I'm going to just have a sip of water.
Okay, you have a sip of water. Okay. Early 19th century stays were long, soft, and came in a more natural shape. Not really.
Yeah.
Reflecting the fashion of the era, high-waisted and long-flowing dress made from fine silk and muslins. These corsets or stays were made of sateen, cotton, silk, or linen, containing minimal, as support was achieved through quilting, cording, and by stays made out of ivory, whalebone, steel, or wood. Women would often receive them as gifts from their husbands, along with a hand-carved love poem and pictures on them. Aww. I love that.
That's precious.
I've never seen one of those. We'll have to seek one of these out. Now I want one to hang on my wall. Okay. During the mid-19th century, heavily boned, rigid corsetry with tight lacing became popular to achieve a small waist. Bodices began to be tighter fitting, and skirts were full and bell-shaped, which created the illusion of a smaller waist. It was not uncommon by the 1860s for corsets to be boned with as many as 60 whalebones, and some corsets of the era had over 100 bones in them. A major invention in the 19th century corsetry was the introduction of the front fastening busk in 1848. This allowed women to have independence and put on their corset easily by herself. The new busk was gently curved to follow the natural posture and lines of the body for the comfort rather than the stiff busk popular in the early part of the century. You know, those corsets are still hard to get into and you really need help.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going back to the 80s because remember tight pants were in?
Mm-hmm.
And I did have some jeans in the 80s. And my friend and I would take turns spending the night at each other's house so we could get dressed in the morning and get our pants on.
You needed someone to help put your pants on?
Oh, yeah. Well, because the tight pants were in, and so we had our forks and we had our pliers, and we'd get in there and we get on. You don't remember? You'd lie on the bed and you'd throw your hips up and you'd suck everything in. And then you'd get your pliers and you'd get your zipper on.
Nope, can't say I've ever done that for fashion.
Yeah, we did it. And then we'd stand up. And then we'd have to go to school, and we made sure we didn't drink very much or anything, because if there was a good possibility if we had to use the restroom, we weren't getting our pants back on. And we never dressed for gym because, again, a good possibility we weren't going to get our pants back on. So we're getting in so much trouble during gym class for not dressing, and, you know, our parents were nagging us and stuff. We finally figured out we'll put our sweats over our pants. Okay? But then we couldn't sit on the ground because
Because you couldn't get back up.
Yes. Okay, and then so we had to do jumping jacks and stuff, so we would just kick one leg out and flap our arms.
You stand in the back and pretend like you're doing it.
And then we try to run and they'd have us run in circles and we'd be trying to run and we'd be like
oh my gosh. You probably damaged your internal organs.
There's a lot of things I've done that probably damaged my internal organs.
Okay, once you got the fork and the pliers and you got your pants zipped up, how'd you get off the bed?
My friend would help me. And then it was her turn.
And then you just kind of penguin walk your way to school?
Well, we learned how to walk in them. Okay, running was a different story.
So I assume you had your shoes on and everything else ready to go.
Oh, yeah, you put your shoes on. Okay, once you get them, you know, like you put them up to your knees and stuff and you put your shoes on. And then you get up and you jump up and down, up and down, up and down. Up and down in these jeans, and then you wiggle, 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 and then you get on the bed and you wiggle some more, and you pull them up, and you pull them up, and then you get the button done, and that's, you're like, and then you take a few minutes of breathing because you're all tired out from putting your clothes on, and then you suck it in again, and you pull the pants, and when you get the zipper together, your friend takes the fork or pliers and gets it for you, and you let out another little sigh of relief because you got your pants on. And then once you're rested up, she helps you off the bed and it's her turn.
That's friendship right there.
It was quite the quite the thing.
So you got to wear pants 4 sizes too small.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It was a struggle.
You are a fashionista.
I don't know.
I don't think I would go through that for fashion.
Okay, but I would like to point out, we don't do like these girls did, okay? We would do what we had to make our waist look all small. Well, of course, the pants were higher and stuff, but because we wore them so tight, there was a little that came over. I mean, there was, no matter how thin you were, it was happening. Okay, I would like to state, we didn't do like these girls do today. They put on these pants on their hip, and then they wear them really tight and they get all their blubber and stuff going over, and then they put on a nice tight shirt to accentuate it. We hid it, or we would find something that would suck that in.
No muffin top for you, huh?
Never. Whatever we had to do to look good, we did it. It was quite the feat to get dressed. So,
well, back to corsets.
Or tight jeans.
Yeah, same difference. In the Edwardian era, the ideal shape of a woman changed. Therefore, it was necessary for corsets to be majorly redesigned. Small waists still remained popular, but the fashionable silhouette had changed. Corsets forced shoulders upright and formed a long, sloping bust that ended with a graceful curve over the hips, creating the famous Gibson girl look. The body shape created was called the S-bend, as the curve of a lady's figure resembled the curves of the letter S. Unlike this curved bust of the Victorian era that began to be seen as unhealthy, the new straight bust did not harm any of the women's internal organs and also made for a more upright posture. This bust meant that the corset fabric was cut on the bias and had diagonal seaming to force the torso to sit upright against the bust. Edwardian corsets were still made in the traditional corset fabrics such as, skipping that one, jean, sateen, batik, but silk became more popular as corsets started to be thought of more as lingerie rather than utilitarian garments. Corsets of this period could be trimmed in ribbons and bows, wide lace edgings, and decorative flossings.
I like ribbons. I like bows.
Yeah. If you could And I know that this is radio and you guys can't see the pictures of what we're looking at.
I sent the link.
But oh, good. Then the one with the ribbons on the back, it has corset ribbons, and they're hanging down past the butt. Then it has ribbons, corset ribbons hanging off like bottom of it.
Yes. Yeah.
That one is my favorite.
Okay, I put it on the FET timeline. So, I wonder if we could make corsets.
I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
In all reality, we are not as crafty as we think we are.
Okay. I was just throwing it out there.
We'll look at McCall's and see if they have a pattern.
Oh, we will do that.
Okay. The teens. Corsets during this period, I'm sorry, 1912 to 1919. Corsets during this time period still use a straight bust and straight front, but their function was not to compress the waist to exaggerate the bust and hips, but to minimize the abdomen and hips. A top-heavy appearance was sought after, as women wanted their bust to be emphasized and the rest of their torso to measure in the same line. To achieve this, corsets no longer came up to support the breasts, but ended just below the bust line. The actual waist of the corset was placed just above the natural level onto the lower rib cage, so that the extreme waist shrinking was impossible. To achieve this shape, corsets were cut longer and straighter in the body and hip than earlier corsets had been. Some early long-line corsets were very long, often ending in mid-thigh, creating a basis for what was later known as the girdle. Boning was still used, but minimally.
And then, in the 20s, everything changed.
Yep.
Corsets were not in anymore, and that was due to the lack of supplies after the war. Women's fashions began to evolve into simpler lines, looser shapes with straight silhouette from shoulder to hem became the norm. Whilst flapper-style dresses allowed more freedom of movement, a new style of corsetry was required. To achieve the desired boyish look at the time, corsets were designed to slim the hips and thighs as much as possible. Worn under the bust to the mid-thigh, the corset also had a number of garters for connecting to stockings, or you could have been a tart and rolled them.
Ooh.
Scandalous.
Scandalous.
Yes. During the summertime, coutil, silk, brocade, and batiste summer corsets were worn, with included panels of cotton sateen or woven elastic for extra movement. Corsets were fastened at the front or the back. A variety of corset styles were available, such as hip confiners and sports corsets. Oh,
sports corsets.
Bet you it was like a sports bra.
Good, probably.
Comfy. These simpler styles were designed for a lower bust line with lighter boning at the front and back. So,
in the 1930s and 40s, by the 1930s, slightly more fitted silhouettes emerged. Women still wanted to have slim hips, but now desired a more prominent waistline. Garments continued to have a
Garments continued to have a dropped and were often cut with angled seams and wider hemlines, incorporating gores, gaudets, and pleats. Corsets continued to be mid-thigh length, but usually had a side hook and eye fastening and hidden heavily boned inner girdles or belts. Fabrics used included coutil, rayons, cottons, woven elastics, and cotton-covered rubbers. Not rubbers, rubber. So you could not have sex. It was just rubber, not rubbers. Yes. With World War II declared in 1939, the fashion industry was deeply affected by fabric shortenings. Luxurious fabrics used in previous centuries were now hard to come by. People were forced to make do with what they had. Zippers were prohibited, and hook and eye closures were limited. So corsetiers turned to lace-up fastenings and elastic fabric. When the war ended in 1945, it was time for a breath of fresh air after years of going without. Although rationing continued in most countries, by 1947, Christian Dior was able to revolutionize fashion by launching his New Look collection in Paris. This collection was a huge success and would be copied all over the world. The wide hemlines, nipped waist, and feminine design were in complete contrast to the frugal cut and finish of the fashions during wartime. See, now when I was reading before, it said, I was reading the articles and watching some videos, and it said pretty much, in the 40s, corsets were gone due to women having to take the jobs that the men could not do. And they needed not to be constricted because they were doing heavy work.
Yes. That makes sense because the men were off fighting the war and the women,
were in the factories.
Yep.
So, I guess it was the elite women that were wearing the corsets and the
well-to-do.
The well-to-do.
Yeah. In the 1950s, that saw the girdle become commonly worn by females. The girdle was constructed out of nylon and latex rubber and provided a firm outline required by fashion. Strategic panels were placed in order to smooth the stomach and give flat line and flat bottom, contrasting the breast from the rest of the figure. During this time, advancements in textiles manufacturing meant that elastic materials had the ability to stretch in more than one direction, allowing garments to be well fitted without boning. Pointed breasts were achieved by wearing circular stitched bras. Besides the aesthetic look achieved by wearing a girdle, women were warned about the dangers of not wearing a girdle after childbirth. Those who didn't wear a girdle were seen as having little self-respect, even wearing them during I can speak. I know I can. Even wearing them during performing or exercising as necessary. My goodness. Lacing was largely done away with, and women either zipped themselves into garments, tugged themselves into elastic girdles, or fastened the garments using hooks and eyes.
So you see, tugging and all that stuff into garments is not a new thing. I didn't create anything new.
Yeah.
Just did it in a different way.
Just in a different time period.
Yes.
Well, I think where you grew up was a lot more fashion forward, and I think here in Hickville we're a decade behind everybody else.
I don't know. I haven't been to the big city in years.
But we're going.
Oh yes, we're going. Okay, so we went through the 1950s?
We are on the 1980s and the 90s.
Oh my gosh, I love the... Oh my gosh, look at those panties.
Granny panties.
I know. Okay, in the 1980s was a relatively prosperous time for the world. Designers had a lot of freedom as celebrities and supermodels emerged wearing designer names. The 80s saw the return of the corset. Yes. But this time as part of the outer design of apparel worn by famously by popular culture icons such as Madonna, who wore corsetry designed by Jean-Paul Gaultier for her many stage performances. In the 90s, ranges of controlling slips were introduced to the public with similar to corsets were worn to slim the figure and are argued to eliminate any visible panty line under the tight-fitting clothes. Although some major retailers still offered corset options in their stores, the majority of women chose to wear comfortable underwear separates.
So, back to your fork and pliers story.
Yes.
Did you have a visible panty line?
I do not believe so. I don't think you could see anything. Everything was just so...
You just had big butt dents where your underwear was shoved into your...
No, I don't
butt.
remember having any butt dents there. Nothing.
At the end of the day, were you just like so relieved to get those pants off?
Oh yeah, because sometimes we'd have like little bruises on our hips and stuff.
And then
I wish you could see her
the
face.
next day.
Yeah. So.
Reminds me of the show, my big fat fabulous gypsy wedding, where they're talking about these, because these dresses weigh, hundreds of pounds, and these girls wear them, and they have all these petticoats under them, and the more bruises and scarring you get, the better street cred you got. This big fancy dress.
Well, in that too, it said that they bound up their hips and stuff, so when the dresses rested on them, it would stop the scarring. So.
I have not worn any garment ever that bruised me, or I needed a buddy to help me get in. I'm gonna start though.
Yeah, there's time. We're ordering corsets.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to lace me into that thing.
Yes, it'll be like Scarlett and Mammy. You'll be holding the bedpost.
Okay, in the present. In today's society, corsets are usually reserved for costume, stage performances, or waist training. Yet some still purchase them for the uses they were designed for hundreds of years ago. Stars such as Beyonce, Shakira, and Lady Gaga wear corsets on their onstage productions to add drama and femininity to their act. High fashion designers such as Jean-Paul Gaultier and Alexander use corsets in their collections. Corsets are seen in stage plays, operas, etc. Among many celebrities, reality star Kim Kardashian uses a waist trainer to achieve a small waist. With the comfort of normal underwear and a wider acceptance of body types, wearing corsets to achieve one particular body shape is not as important in modern day women as it was to women centuries before, and for that, this person is thankful.
You have to have something to work for.
This is true. And the corsets that we were looking at, you can get them, you send them your measurements and they custom design them for you.
Yes.
Because, I think, I have ample to fill out the bottom of a corset, enough, to suck it in, but I worry about my booby cups will be empty.
Well, you can get the under the boob ones. They still make those. And then they have the cute little white tops, like the peasant tops they were showing, that go underneath it to achieve a good look.
Well, because I know that you people are probably tired of hearing about my daughter's wedding, but I'm going to tell you this anyway. Her dress is a corset dress. And when she first got it, got to try it on. And we made the mistake of lacing it, kind of, before we stuck it on her. And then we had to unlace it all. And it took forever to get her into that dress to where it would stay up. But it looks lovely. It's beautiful. But I told her on her wedding day to, allow at least an hour to get her into her dress.
And have a friend help.
Oh, yeah. I told her I put a knee in her back.
Yeah.
And suck her in there. So I don't know. But the shape of this in the silhouette of a corset, I find it very sensual, very attractive. I can't see how it would make me feel because I've never worn one. How did it make you feel when you wore your corset?
I didn't really think about it. I was just kept my waist in. Of course, with the bubble skirt, that was good because when it brings your waist in, and it had a little bit on the hips, but then of course you get like the opposite of the tight jeans pushing things up. You have things pushing down and pushing. You only have that portion of the body that's corseted being sucked in.
Yeah. Well, because I was reading this article about a lady, and she was doing the corset waist training. It's supposed to last for, like 4 weeks. She lasted 11 days and said, forget this. Because when you first start wearing a corset, you're supposed to only wear it for a few hours at a time. Give your body time to get used to it. Don't put it on too tight. And she did say it helped with her posture.
Yes.
Gave her better posture, helped her not to eat as much. But she said it would, like laying down was way better than sitting up because it poked into the top of her hip bones and under her arms. But when she laid down, she really struggled to get back up.
Well, see, I believe you're supposed to have something underneath as well. There's a whole video. I'll look for it again. But it shows how she gets dressed. And there's many, many layers of clothing.
Well, this lady just had a regular, just put the corset on.
Yeah, well, she sounds like not the smartest person in the world.
I don't know. But she said that she did wear it, and then she wore it to work, and, she wore it longer and longer each day. And then she went to work, and they were having, like, a little celebration, like someone going away party. And she had a little bit of champagne, and the bubbles actually hurt her stomach because there was nowhere for them to go. She ate less because there was no room for food.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
anyway, I just find it fascinating that, she did it, she tried it.
So what is your goal with the corset?
I think I don't know, I'm down for anything. I'll try anything once. I just want to try it and see if, I like it. If it makes me feel sexy, if it makes me feel self-conscious. Mostly I want to know if my husband likes it. Because, he's the boss of me, so what he says goes. But I don't really have a goal besides I want to own one. And figure out how to get myself in there. Because I do believe the ones that we were looking at laced in the back.
Some of them had the snaps in the front. I forget what they called them.
Like hook and eye?
There's all different kinds. You can get the zippies, whatever. I'd rather have a lacing one, I think. Well, maybe they also have the combo, the zip lace. I think you need both.
Okay. What's your goal?
I would definitely like a smaller waist. Smaller, yeah.
Well, I think the only way I'm going to get a truly smaller waist is, get off my can and exercise a little bit more.
Well, yeah, we can exercise too, but that'll help you eat less.
That's true.
Yeah, and you don't need every organ inside your body.
You need to get the spleen out, the gallbladder, probably like half your liver.
Appendix,
yeah, there's one you don't need.
There's a lot of spare parts.
Couple of ribs, you don't need those.
Yes, I would eventually like to get rid of some ribs.
No,
but they did say when I was watching this video on the rib removal, and they did say that does leave some of your organs open for bruising and damage and this and that.
So you should probably leave your ribs where they're supposed to be.
Oh my gosh, you're such a fun sucker.
That's my job as your friend, to keep you healthy and safe. What are we, a couple of llamas spitting at each other?
We are. Okay, so let's go back and we will play some more
Muzako.
Yeah, and more of this
Are you digging the whole country thing today?
Well, everyone else seems to be digging it, so we'll go with it.
Good thing.
Okay, so but some of it was bluegrass, who knows? Welcome back to Slave Nation on the Beaten Path. We want to remind you, don't forget to enter the contest for our coffee giveaway, women only. Go to slavenationradio@gmail.com. Tell us what you like about the show. Becky, tell them I'm not choking you.
She's not choking me. No, she's not choking me. I have a little touch of allergies. It's kind of making a tickle in my throat.
Would you like an allergy tab?
Maybe after the show. I don't want to get sleepy and nod off in the middle of a fabulous fireplay extravaganza that we're
because Tilly will share with you.
Oh, good. I get to share medicine with your dog.
I know. Isn't she sweet?
She's so sweet.
I know. So, okay, so we said that, and we want to remind you, vote for our station, and follow us on FET, and blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. And if you're going to be in the areas of our road trip, which will be Nevada for sure, and Arizona, if we're not too cranky and it's not too hot, it's going to be hot. California, probably Washington, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then just here and there. So if you're going to be in any of those areas, email us if you want to get together for coffee. We're not getting together for butt coffee.
No. I got a line of butt coffee.
Coffee, tea, a drink, lunch, whatever. We have a few people we're going to meet on the road. We're really excited. It's going to be a surprise because we'll tell you about it once we've met them and we make them get on the radio and talk to you. They don't know it. I hope they're not listening. I hope they are listening because it's very, very bad if they're not.
You have to go eat bananas. I still don't know where that came from.
Because you were talking about Survey Monkey.
Oh, monkey and bananas. I get it now.
How could you miss that? I should have never told.
Yeah, it could have been a mystery for like the rest of my life. I'd be like on my deathbed going, what's with the bananas?
You know, if you were saying that, I'd just shove a banana in your mouth and say, hurry up, you're taking too long with this business.
Die off already. Okay. Are we ready to move on to Fireplay?
Sure. You tell me what you know, and I will tell you some of the things I saw.
Okay, well.
And I don't necessarily know that they're good ideas. Oh, first we should have a warning.
Disclaimer.
This is edge play and extremely dangerous. Do not try this at home.
Yes, do not. This is not for amateurs. You could seriously burn somebody. You could seriously hurt them if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, but these amateurs will try it.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm lighting you on fire.
That's fine.
Okay. And I got this from...
Just not my face.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I got some of this... As I go through and read the information that I got, I'll tell you where I got it from. This particular batch comes from bdsmwiki.info.
Ooh.
So, like we were saying, edge play is
edgy.
It's edgy. It's not for amateurs. If you can't find a class in your local area that is teaching this technique, find someone who already knows how to do it and learn from them, because it does seem like a very fun and like sensation play. But there's also a very high risk of accident, injury, and burns. So, once again, do not try this without educating yourself. So, we're going to go over the safety first. When you start your fire play, you should have...
extinguisher!
Okay, fire extinguisher. Good answer, good answer!
Yes! Water!
Shit.
Baking soda!
Baking soda?
Haven't you ever had a grease fire?
Yeah.
Baking soda puts it right out.
There
and
we
it's
go.
the same stuff in fire extinguishers, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And also wet washcloth?
Yes. Ice. And that burn gel.
Aloe?
No, aloe's not burn gel.
Oh, you mean actual burn gel?
Burn gel,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So before you start Be very conscientious of your area. You know, flammable materials around you, what your partner is wearing.
Hair.
Yeah, well, hair's on the list. Most people, you know, would do this naked. But if, let's say, you're just going to do your arm, you want to make sure that your shirt is not like a rayon or like a polyester, something that's going to melt into your skin. If on accident it catches fire, you want to have, you know, something that you can put that fire out.
Well, not only that, you don't want a lot of hair on the area.
This is true. And it also smells bad if you burn your hair.
Oh.
Yes. And so, like Deb was saying, you want to make sure that your hair is up. Put your hair up and out of the way. No hairspray. No perfume. Nail polish can be flammable. So can some lotions. And you need to remember that fuel travels down, but flame travels up. And my friend's having a hysterical fit. Would you like to share with the rest of the class?
The rest of the class knows it because it's wandering biker being a smart aleck. Oh no, being very Domley. He says, safety police disclaimer. Do not do what Deb and Swirly are doing. They have no idea what they are doing.
This is a true fact. That is a true statement. We don't know.
We're learning.
We're learning.
But we are like Manuel. We learn.
We learn.
And we are not from Barcelona. And Manuel is from Faulty Towers, which is a television show.
Is it one of those BBC things that you love so much? Okay. Just checking. So most of the fuel that is used for...
What? He's at it again. And always remember, Deb and Swirly are looking for a reason to go to the emergency room. This
is true. But if someone's going for 3rd-degree burns on their titties, it's not going to be me. It's you.
A whole body, and the only thing you want to set on fire is my breast?
No, because here's the thing.
What?
If you're not careful, because they use alcohol. There's like 70% alcohol, like regular drugstore alcohol. It's like 70%, 91%. Over flat surfaces of the body, you know, it's fine. No, it doesn't. It doesn't stay there. It'll stay there. But if you get in the crevices like your breast or like your collarbone, there's a chance that it could puddle. It could pool there. And then you have a huge ignition when you just wanted a little sparkle darkle. So one of the tips that I did read is to use food coloring to color your alcohol to your fuel source. That way you can see where it is on the body and if there's any pooling happening.
Oh, well see, I also had the tip, use mousse.
Yes, mousse is flammable.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And the cheap kind is better.
Cheap is better. You can also use hand sanitizer.
Yes.
So basically anything that is flammable, but you want to keep your fuel source, whatever it is that you're using for your fuel source, far away from your play area because you don't want to accidentally, you know, get it too close, cause a fire in the room. Absolutely no smoking. These are not things that should have to be said, but we're saying them anyway. And like I was saying, fuel runs down, but fire goes up. And it's always a good idea, if possible, to have a spotter to check for drips, pools, you know, things like that, to make sure that everyone that is involved in the scene is safe. And different different fuels burn at different temperatures and rates. So you have to know your fuel, how it pools in the, you know, in the crevices, like your breast, your butt crack, your belly button, near your genitals. Yes, I said butt crack.
Sorry.
And you want to avoid fire play on scars, tattoos, cuts, scabs, etc. Anywhere where there's a mar in the skin or imperfections in the skin.
Okay, so my whole body's out.
Oh my gosh.
Great, I have nothing to set on fire.
And you want to allow a few days recovery between each session, for recovery for the skin and for the person, because you can get very dehydrated. There are a couple ways that you can apply this with like a torch, like a fire baton kind of a gizmo, and that is you dip it in your fuel source, and then squeeze out most of the fuel and set it on fire, and then you can trace it along the body parts, like the bottoms of the feet, inside of the thighs, wherever it is that you want, and then in one hand you have your torch, the other hand a wet washcloth to run behind it to make sure you're not damaging the skin.
Yes.
Sorry, she's choking me again. There's also you can apply the fuel source directly to the body, and then either like in a straight line, or some people do like elaborate patterns.
Oh, elaborate patterns, yes.
Yeah. And then you set it directly on fire on their skin. But of course you have to be very mindful of cooling and make sure that the fire, because it's not like you set them on fire and watch them burn. It's on fire and then it's out.
Yeah.
And if you want to do the method where you straight pour it on there, they suggest you practice like on a piece of wood or concrete, before you actually touch another human being with your fire stick. Practice, get a few skills under your belt. One thing that they did say to even see if it's tolerable for your submissive or your slave is to take a Q-tip.
Excuse me.
Do share.
Wandering bikers acting up again. He says, coffee in liquid form is not flammable, by the way.
Oh, well, that's good.
Do not drink your accelerant. And I'm going to go with, don't put it up your butt either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't drink what comes out.
Yes, I'm going to have to stop reading. Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, you're
Continue.
fine. I was just going to say that one way that, because, like we're interested.
Absolutely.
But before you get involved in, doing this thing, and here I just dumped all this alcohol on you, or, trace it on you with a torch, you can take a Q-tip and put in the alcohol, squeeze it out, and then light it on fire and rub it against the underside of your wrist. And that will give you a
sample.
Yeah, of what it's going to feel like on the rest of your body. And if you can't handle it there, you're not going to be able to handle it.
Ooh, I say we try that this evening.
Okay.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
We should have tried that before the show. We should have brought that up. Slacker.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I suck.
No, you don't suck.
So, as we were saying...
we should try it right now.
Okay, well, how about I finish reading this sentence, and then we'll try it, because we're going to go through a few...
Safety?
No. Types. Because you have fire play is fire on or close to the skin. Okay? And it has the fire wand or a fire baton. And you can use hand sanitizer, hair mousse, super proof rum, and something called flash cotton, which is really cool.
I saw that on the video.
I know. I totally want some now just to play with it.
Yes, it was like... Like a racetrack of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That would be fun. And they also had something in the fire gloves. I couldn't really find a lot on what fire gloves were.
You should have looked on eBay.
Yeah. And they also have fire floggers where you can set the end of the floggers on fire.
Well, you know what I was thinking? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I was thinking fire tassels when we learn how to swish them.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
So, and we'll talk about 2 different kinds of this FirePlay. And then if you want to, then we can try lighting your wrist on fire.
Yes!
Okay.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
So the first is bouncing, which is just fire wands that are bounced along the skin. And it may or may not transfer the fuel, so you have to be very diligent. Only use one hand at a time. Don't, because I'm sitting here like I'm playing the drums, but you don't want to do that because you want to have one hand to extinguish the flame.
Yeah, that would cause splatter, I would expect too.
Yeah, you want to be very careful, and that's why you squeeze out as much of the fuel as you can, because you don't want to make splatter, because not only on your skin, but it would also, catch the room on fire, which is not a good idea.
No, it's not.
And then they also have streaking, which we talked about, where it's applied in a straight line in an elaborate pattern, and then you can ignite it, and then the name of the game is light it and put it out.
Okay.
Okay, and then like a bigger area, like if you're going to do someone's whole body, you'd want like a fire blanket.
Gotcha.
Always have wet towels available, water, anything that will put the fire out. Baking soda might, not quite do the trick quite fast.
Yes.
Because you really want to be careful, because someone could very easily get seriously hurt. So do not do this if you don't know what you're doing. And on that note, we're going to go to a commercial or a song break while I get some stuff ready and
burn your friend.
Burn my friend because I'm a moron. I don't listen to my own advice.
We don't. But if we don't try, okay. Honestly, what's the worst that could happen?
It could hurt you. Burn you. Give you blisters.
Okay, you give me a blister, but it's on the inside of my arm, and then maybe I'll go and they'll say, oh, we better plastic surgery this, and while we're at it, we'll do her nose, and we'll do some breast augmentation.
And now you're out of control.
Yes, I am. We'll be right back, and you can listen to us do some burn up Auntie Deb. Some good times. Swirls is smoking before she sets me on fire. It will only be a few more moments. And we're back on Slave Nation, on the beaten path, where my good friend is about to set me on fire.
Because I'm stupid.
She's not stupid.
Because I don't follow my own advice.
Oh, okay, but you know what? When we did the needles, what did we do? We just got there. We got the needles, pulled them out, set up, and off we went. We do things. We are doers. Hold on, let me get the camera going. Just 1 second. The camera. And we'll be posting this for you so you know we're not liars. We're just on fire. Okay, hold on a second now. Oh, stupid.
Technical difficulties.
No kidding. I can't run a phone. Okay, so I'm going to go there. It makes my arm look really huge. My arm's not that big.
Hey.
Okay.
Do you see how big the fire is on the end
yes.
of the Q-tip? And that's with me wringing it out.
Okay.
Maybe you need to turn your wrist over.
This way. Oh yeah, that's hot.
You know why?
Because it's on fire.
Okay, onto the towel.
That was it?
No. Now we're going to do it the different way.
Think you should use a different arm? It's okay, we'll use this one.
Yeah, that one looks good. It looks clean.
I took a shower today.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, this I want to put the wet towel this way.
Okay. She's such a good friend. I'll bring it out. Okay, yeah, that's hot.
And that's just a little line of straight alcohol onto your wrist.
Yeah, but that's a sensitive area.
Well,
It's not too bad.
that's all you get, sunshine.
Okay, well that wasn't too bad. I think it'll be much better in a different area.
Well, you can pick your area later.
Yeah, okay, I'd say, yeah, okay, not bad at all. We'll be placing that on YouTube in a while. And stop. There we go. Okay.
Okay, well, let's move our wet towel.
It leaves a nice sensation after.
Mm-hmm. And it pays your skin redden.
It's a little red.
Here.
Oh, you want? Well, let's take a picture of my red wrist. Oh,
Pardon the interference, it's from the phone.
Yes, okay, take a picture. Can you help out here? Just my red wrist.
Trying to get the shadow out of the way.
Okay.
We have horrid lighting.
I know. Here, let's go. Okay.
I'm trying to put that down without putting it on my computer.
It should have the flash.
I'm trying to figure out where it is.
Well, okay. While you
Wait, done.
okay. I'm gonna play a song for them.
Okay, now we can make sure that the bulb.
And we're back at Slave Nation on the beaten path, where my friend just set me on fire.
Because I don't follow my own advice, and I am a moron.
And I'd love to tell about it. It's not that bad. Look, it's just a little.
Yeah, but see, I have no practice, I have no skill, I've never done that before.
And now you have. And now you have some practice, and now you have some skill.
But I'm not doing that anymore. So if you
Well,
want
that's okay.
further fire play, you'll have to look elsewhere.
That is fine. It's just a itty bitty bitty bit.
Bitty 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 bit.
Itty bitty bitty bit.
Well, if you would like to know how to make your own fire torch, I could tell you.
Ooh, yes.
Then you can just start setting yourself on fire.
Oh no, you need someone there. How about a Molotov cocktail? They showed that on. Remember when the riots in Los Angeles?
Mm-hmm.
On PBS, they were showing how to make Molotov cocktails.
Oh, that's nice. But you gotta defend yourself sometime.
Do you know how to make them?
No.
Oh,
So it's like gas in a bottle and a rag.
Right? Yeah. But I didn't know that until they told me, because I never
Cared to know? Didn't
Yeah,
know. Wasn't your...
it was like a bottle of fire flying through the air. They kind of ruined the mystery.
That happens. Mythbusters does the same thing.
I hate Mythbusters.
Okay.
Okay.
So, at kinkfo.worldpress.com, I found a DIY fire torch. And what you do is you take a wooden dowel.
Okay, I have one.
They
of
don't
those.
suggest anything shorter than 12 inches, you know, because you've got to have some room to work. And then you get some gauze and wrap it tightly around the end of this dowel. Absolutely no slack. You do not want your torch falling off onto your partner. And then you tie it off very tightly with dental floss. And this is also the place where I got the tip where to color the dye. That way you can, or the dye, to color the alcohol so that you can see if it's pooling anywhere, or kind of make a slug trail, see where you're going and what you're doing.
I don't think you're supposed to use red dye though. If I'm remembering correctly, red dye has something in it that makes it burn hotter.
Well, they did suggest blue.
There you go.
So then you soak your torch in the colored alcohol, and then squeeze out most of it, as much as you can get, squeeze it out, and then you set it on fire, and then you run it along the body with one hand and follow with a wet towel with the other. And always have water handy to put your torch out. And once again, never put your lit torch near your fuel source. So this could also work if you're doing like the straight line or a more elaborate design. Use your fire torch to put the fuel on, then light the torch, and then it'd be kind of like the domino effect where you go and go, and then that's how you make your own fire torch. If because you can buy fire batons and things like that, but sometimes you got to be a baller on a budget. And if it with a wooden dowel, some gauze, dental floss, and some rubbing alcohol, you can attempt these things. But once again, do not do this. Do not do what I did. Do as you're told, not as I do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. Because doing that small little Q-tip experiment with her really, it made me nervous because, I'd never done it before and I don't know what could happen. And I did not want to hurt my friend, and I'm glad that I didn't. But
I trusted you.
Well, thank you. And another interesting thing that I saw, and of course this comes from our good friend Wikipedia, is fire cupping.
Now we can do that with the cups, right? That I want to order.
Actually, if you want to be a baller on a budget, you can use shot glasses.
Really? How do you do it?
Well, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, with fire cupping, it's where the air inside the cup, which is almost always glass, is heated and placed on the skin, and the cooling air creates a low pressure suction, and it pulls your skin partially into the cup. Experienced cuppers can control the strength of this suction by controlling the heat on the cup. So let's say we wanted to cup you. In our broadcast studio is my husband's shot glass collection. So any of these things could be used to cup you with.
Okay.
Sorry for the page turning. So there's a couple. First, let's go over that fire cupping can be appropriate for holistic and traditional medicine. Cupping was used in the Civil War to promote blood movement, and is still used by massage therapists and Chinese medicine practitioners today.
Yes.
And in some Asian stores, you can purchase the acupuncture, the actual suction cups, but they won't. Some of them won't sell it to you unless you are an actual massage therapist.
Oh, I'm going to the Asian store this week or next week.
Well, you can look and see if they have them, and but why spend the money when we got this whole shot glass collection?
Oh, yes.
So, the most dangerous and risky way to perform this is to put rubbing alcohol directly on the skin, setting it on fire, then immediately putting the cup over it, because the fire will go out with lack of oxygen. But if you don't get that tight seal, then the fire is not going to go out.
Yes.
So this is one of those things that should be very heavily practiced. Once again, do not try this if you do not know how to do it. Do your research. Find someone to teach you. You know, it seems to be kind of like a trial and error.
And we could probably teach you in a week or two.
Yeah. You can also hold the cup over an open flame until it's warm and then apply it to the cool skin. That's the hardest way to get a strong suction. But I think as beginners we don't want a really strong suction because when you do the cupping, it usually leaves a small round marks on the body, and that can last a few hours up to a few days. But if you cup a single area too much, it'll leave it like a deep honking bruise. Because here's something that I did as a child that you probably didn't do, but you ever like put your mouth on a cup and then suck on it, and then you give yourself a chin hickey?
I've never had a chin hickey, but occasionally I would do the...
Yeah, suck on a cup and it makes it purple. Yeah, same concept. So, and you can also place discs on your arm or whichever body part that you're doing, a disc, and then a cotton ball soaked in alcohol. Then you light the cotton ball on fire and then immediately put the cup over it, which is also risky for burns because, you know, if you don't aim right that first time, you hit the cotton ball, now you got, you know, flame all over your arm. So always have your water ready, you know, cool, you know, wet cloths to extinguish the flame.
And burn gel.
Yes. You're really big on the burn gel.
Yeah.
So. In this way, you might like this one, where you put the fuel directly in the cup, light it on fire, and then
put it out with your hand.
I mean, you don't really put it out with your hand, but like you hold your arm over the, like, okay, let's say we're doing your forearm.
Yes.
Put the alcohol in the shot glass, light it on fire, put your forearm over the shot glass, and then turn it over. And then lack of oxygen will put out the flame, but it'll still make the suck effect.
Oh, gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Kind of sense, yes.
Okay. Alcohol, shot glass, light it on fire. And then when you turn it over...
How much alcohol are you putting in there again?
It did not exactly say exact measurements. So I would start with just a little bit.
Just wetting the...
Yeah. You need 3.5 cups of alcohol. I'm just kidding.
Yikes. That's just a drink first.
Yeah. And if you're, you know, like, the alcohol in the shot glass, and then you catch it on fire, you can also add water to it to dilute it, so, it doesn't burn as intensely. So, that's what I know about fire cupping. And I've seen pictures of it on the internet because, you know, that's where I get all my good information. And it looks kind of like what I would think it would look like if you got attacked by an octopus. There's like little suction marks all over. But they do say that it has some very good healing properties.
And what are the healing properties?
Just help with like general fatigue. There's different parts of the body that you'd have to, you know, you need to be like the Chinese medicine man, and he know, you know, it's like a whole in-depth area of study that you would have to look at to know where on the body to cure. You know, like fatigue, and it'll help with your liver and your internal organs. And
okay, so you need an acupuncture.
Yeah, it's kind of like a predecessor to acupuncture.
Okay. Go ahead.
You look confused.
Oh, I am confused.
Oh,
I'm going to go to a song for. I'm trying to get the video going. I'm going to go to a song really quick. We'll go back to the country music because everyone seems to like that. And then we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Slave Nation on the Beaten Path. We want to remind you, tune into the Harry Trev Rock Show Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Last chance to enter for this month's giveaway, the coffee gift card. Tell us what you like about the show, slavenationradio@gmail.com. Follow us on FET. Take the Survey Monkey. If you don't, you should eat bananas. Also,
and vote for our station.
Yes. And now I'm going to tell you what is going on with my arm. It was just a little itty bit. We're waiting for the videos to transfer and everything. But it was just an itty bitty bit of alcohol she put on there, and then it came on fire. But it feels really good now. Like, I can't even explain the sensation, but it's really comfortable. But the thing is, I think they gave out bad advice trying it on the underarm.
Mm-hmm.
Because this doesn't see much light of day. It's not used. It's very tender skin. If you feel it, you can feel it's like never exposed to anything. So, plus I use sunscreen all the time. So it's had no, it hasn't done any work.
It's virgin skin.
It's virgin skin. It's almost like a baby butt. So it's really tender. So I think,
well, maybe that's why they suggested that part of your body, because if that's the most tender part of your body, and, it's too much, because like your breasts, you're not walking around topless.
No, but see, the least, you have a bra running on there all, rubbing against there all the time. Gets a lot more attention than the inner arm.
Is your inner wrist red?
It's not red. Does it look red to you anymore?
No, it doesn't look red.
Yeah, it's not red anymore. It's nothing wrong with it, and but you can feel the little hot spots. You can feel the burns still there, but it's not.
Is it kind of like the candle wax soothing sensation?
It's different. It's kind of like when you touch something hot, and then you have that sensation afterwards. But afterwards it usually hurts and it's like throbbing and you want to die and you keep putting something cool on it. It's not like that. It's an undertone and it's almost calming. So it's not a horrible, horrible sensation. Although I do notice my veins are popping out more.
Well, the heat brought them to the surface.
That's probably true. I wonder why they don't do that when you have those nurses that can't find the vein. Put something warm on there.
Well, they did that to my stepmom yesterday before they even did anything. They went and got a hot towel and wrapped her hand up.
Really? That's the first time I've heard of them doing that.
Yeah, and they got it first book.
Oh, nice try. Good going. So, I guess we should talk about what we're having coming up on the next show.
Yes, sir, Barbarino.
Oh, yes. We're going to be talking, and we're going to see if we can get some of our other little slave friends on with us. I think it's something that would be better with more, but if not, then you can just listen to us talk about it. And what we're going to be talking about is feeling like a failure as a submissive. Because we've all been there.
Yep. It's very true.
Yes. And there was something else we were going to discuss. Do you remember?
How not to burn out as a submissive.
Yeah. That's a good one too. I don't know how to burn out. But that's what we're going to be talking about. And
sometimes I feel like, what the hell did I get myself into? You know what I mean? But that's for next week.
Yes. And I think we're going to wrap up early.
Yep. We're gonna make some dinner.
Dinner.
Yeah, dinner. You know, comida, food.
Oh. Okay, dinner.
Dinner.
Oh, okay. No one entered our contest this month, so there's no drawing.
So, sorry, I call Deb California.
Yes.
So that means more butt coffee for Deb.
Yay!
Yay! And my son's so excited because she uses his bathroom to do it.
And we'll be back on Sunday talking about how not to burn out as a submissive, and I'm going to finish playing some country music for you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Have a good night.